Greetings, and good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome to another weekly edition of our Lunch and Learn.
E is exhaling, having an opportunity to breathe, to rest, to refill yourself and rejuvenate yourself, because no one can pour from an empty cup.
As you evolve and become more of yourself, you begin to attract the people that are there for you.
Amen.
So everything you need is in this space.
You have to learn from your mistakes. Once you make a mistake, sit down, recoup, and then start over. And once you do that, you say, I got that.
See, Juneteenth means to me, I would definitely say empowerment and education.
When I experience it, like just coming together and, being a part of something bigger than myself,
A new start, starting a new chapter, opportunity, new beginnings, all of that good stuff.
Greetings, and good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome to another weekly edition of our Lunch and Learn. We are joined today by a return guest that I'm super excited to talk about, because when she was here before, she was about to launch an amazing project. And now that project has been birthed fully, and it's live, and we're here to talk about it today. We're here with Kiara Green, aka MBG, DJ MBG. Let's bring MBG up to the stage.
Hey,
Kiara. Welcome
good
back.
afternoon. Thank you all for having me. Thank you for this amazing platform. Jamie, I'm excited to talk to you again. You know how our conversation goes. It's always on. So I'm excited.
I was going to say, I was super excited when I saw that you were returning. I was like, okay, we get to pick up this conversation and regenerate the energy between us that was here the last time. I'm super excited about it. So before we dive into our conversation, let's have you introduce yourself to the community for those who weren't here with us before, and then we'll dive into our little back and forth.
Sure. So, my name is Kiara Green. I am an entrepreneur. I'm also known as DJ MBG because I wear many hats. My company is Forever MBG Entertainment, in which we embody entertainment, production, film, and now my book. I am the author of this book, I Had a Praying Grandmother, self-published book. It is flourishing into so much more than I can fathom or even imagine. Things that I only dreamed about are coming to fruition. So I'm excited about that. I have an organization which is called Situation. I'll tell you guys a little bit about later. But we are a community-based organization. In the community, we have an amazing breast cancer awareness walk this week. So I'm super geeked and just ready. Like this week is just full of business, running, busy, but that's always a great thing. So I'm here, and I'm here to talk about some amazing things today.
I love it. So you mentioned your book. Let's can you tell us a little bit about your journey into the world of storytelling, and what inspired you to write the book? And tell us, what type of book is it? Is it a book of poetry, a book of stories, a novel? Like, let us know a little something about the book.
So a little backstory, as I always tell everybody when I'm out and I'm personally connecting with somebody, I always tell them, got 2 minutes, just give me 90 seconds to tell you a little backstory about this book. So I lost my grandmother to cancer about 2 years, coming up on 2 years ago. And I'm a journalist by degree. I tell everybody I'm a journalist by degree, but I'm a poet by love. I've loved poetry since I was yay high. Like, I literally still have my first poetry book, like a composition, black and white notebook from the early 2000s, late 1990s. Like I still have a book, and I cherish those things because it's the essence of my true passion and my true love. So with that being said, in the process of losing my grandmother, I had to channel the emotions that I was going through, the changes. I was a new mom at the time. I'm still a new mom, but my daughter was just born. I was going through so many different stages at the same time, if you may. So I went to what I know, and that's writing, because writing has always been an expressive. And I just opened up in a vulnerable way to just get out everything that I needed to get out. And it was so therapeutic. And it did not start off as a book. Like, it just started off as journal entries of me just expressing what I was feeling that day. If you have the book, if you look through the book, everything is dated, and it gives you the specific time in which I wrote it, just to give you a sense of where I was at that time. Oh my gosh, she was thinking of this at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I began to write, and over time, it turned into more and more and more. This is a collection of 65 poems. And I like to call them poems/memoirs or collections. And it's based about everything, like just life in general, life, love, relationships, parenthood, growth, grief, dreams, passions, desires. All of those things are embodied in this book. And I tell everybody all the time, if you got a heartbeat, it's something in this book that you'll be able to connect with. It's something that you may have experienced. Somebody who experienced something like this, or that may be going through this at that current moment. It's just, I tell everybody all the time, just how we got on the call earlier, and it's like, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. I can't complain. That's the shell right there, right? But behind that shell, how are you really doing? What's going on internally? How you feeling today? What's your capacity on today? Is it low? Is it high? Do you have energy to give? Like, and that's something that we don't always want to share, because we want, we don't want to put your burdens on somebody else, or you don't want to just come in overbearing sometimes. So we hold that back, in which we need to share that sometimes. And that's what this book is, just transparency at its best. Things that I've never verbally said out my mouth, I've shared in this book, and people being able to connect with that means more to me than anything, because it just opens the door to understanding that I'm not the only person that feels like this. Somebody else feels like this. So this is going to help somebody with a breakthrough, with a healing, knowing that you have somebody else that's dealing with the same thing. So I wrote the book, and my grandmother always encouraged me growing up, you should be a writer. Because I would always write on her greeting cards, and you should be a writer. And I had no idea that would turn into this. So yes. Oh wait, I'm not hearing you. Maybe you hearing me. Hold on, let's see. Okay. We're gonna refresh. Okay, we're gonna refresh and we come right back. Gotcha. Let's refresh this and see. So I am still here. We're here. They're going to refresh. A little short commercial break. We'll come right back. Get everybody tuned in so we can continue this amazing conversation. Is Jamie coming back in? We good? We don't need the commercial break? I think she's coming back in.
All right.
There we go.
Okay. Definitely sounds better on my end. Definitely works on my side. So, okay. What I was about to say was, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but community I flow in, we can't just keep speaking of grandma and not bringing her name into this space. She's an ancestor. She's your ancestor. She's one of my ancestors. She is an ancestor. So what was her name? Beautiful.
Rosalie Mosley. Rosalie Mosley, also known as Sweetie Pie. And Sweetie Pie was the perfect name because now I joke with my cousins, like my younger cousins, because I'm like, oh, I got grandma growing up. When y'all was born, then she became like the sweetest. She's always been sweet, and grandma is grandma. But I was like, yeah, I got the '90s grandma. Like, okay, you better not play. But then it's like the 2000 kids and above. Oh, got the sweetest, like the sweetest of Sweetie Pie, the sweetest cake. So, yes, Rosalie Moses,
I love
Sweetie Pie is what I'll call her. So yes.
definitely thanking her for being in this space with us today, for just for making the impact that she did on your life, and I'm sure many others, if she impacted you that way. I'm laughing at that, at the look at the versions of people that we get, because I always tell my son, it's like my brother and sister are 12 years younger than me, and then my son was born 12 years later, so we all literally have a different of my
Absolutely.
mother, and seeing my mother just who she was, my grandmother, and who she was to all of us. So I know exactly what you're talking about, and I'm sure most people in the community know, because it's just a natural thing. As people age, they become a little more calmer, a little more laid back, a little bit more like, oh, I've done this before. I'm not as angry, or as I don't have the same angst or any of the stuff that they have when they're younger. And also human. That's what I've had to learn in my healing journey, is that, our mothers, our grandmothers are human beings, and we see them as these superwomen. And it's like, we never really consider where they are in their lives at those times when they're raising us or handling us, and we're feeling handled or raised or loved on or not. Considering those things are always so important. So I love that. So what inspired you to create a brand around the book? I Had a Praying Grandmother, because I know you have a
brand. Grandmother. The brand, just the connection that people, as soon as they hear the title or just walking past, because we have merchandise. I actually have on one of our other sweaters, and it says thankful for my grandmother's prayers. Just the connection that people feel with, oh my God, like I had a praying grandmother too. We all come from that solid foundation. And it was something bigger than a book to me. It's like, okay, yeah, we could turn this into merch, but I have the book club, and the book club, which I'm up on starting our second book club next month. The book club was it was definitely a breakthrough for it was a club full of, I want to say, about maybe 22 women, age range from 21 to 65. So that range of ages is, you wouldn't normally get that group together in one setting. And we broke it up into an 8-week book club, and I had to decide how I didn't want to just do it as, let's read the book, let's just go through the book. Like, I wanted to do it differently, in a strategic way, that we can touch on the poems, but it wouldn't be in chronological order. We can really dig and dive. So I decided to break it up into topics. So each week was a different topic. And we touched on like love, we touched on life, we touched on dreams and goals, we touched on grief. But each topic, we went into the book and decided where each poem would fall. So I would give them a rundown, and I would give them a heads up. Okay, next week is love. These are the poems that falls into that topic. And then we'll come together and say, you know what, I read this one, and I think that belongs in love too. And we would discuss that amongst so many other different open conversations. And at the end of the book club, it was like it was a breakthrough. It was a healing, because it was virtual. So some people weren't, they didn't feel so comfortable coming on screen and talking, and they were there, but they would, type in the chat, I left it open to that because I want you to feel as comfortable as possible. But at the end, everybody was on screen. We were all sharing things. We were crying, laughing together. It was a sisterhood that was built in, not even to exclude the men, because we had some men come on some weeks as well and give us their opinion and chime in, and we're absolutely welcome to that. But at the end of that, it was a relationship that was built, and generational love that was built, because we had different generations of women to be able to give advice and to share stories and to say, this poem really took me to a time, just like you said, we don't know what our moms or our grandparents were going through at that time. So the grandmothers that we had on the call, or moms that we had on the call, they were able to share their experiences with us young moms, or people, who are looking to be moms in the future, and just guide us in the direction of, maybe you should try this, maybe you could do this, and just giving us a shoulder to lean on. So that within itself just took me to another level of like, okay, this is beyond a book club as well. Now we can open this up to panel discussions, and now we can open this up to, speaking engagements, and just opening the floor to as much awareness as possible, if I may, with just our own internal feelings. And I know mental health is like a huge thing that everybody is emphasizing on now, and which has always been, but just the microscopic like ways that we channel in on those things now. We need to continue to embrace that and make it like a common thing. So it's not like, oh, well, you going to see a therapist? Like, oh, what's wrong with you? Like, nah, that's actually true. We need that. Our friends have been our therapists, and our sisters and our brothers and whoever you choose to talk to. But to really go with somebody who's skilled in that level to help guide you through these things, that might be the best options. Just opening doors like that, and I'm like, the foundation it just starts with the grandmothers and great grandmothers and the ancestry of that. But I just know it was something bigger than that, for real.
I love that. I love that you just you kind of like it was perfect, because it was kind of like a trigger in the same moment, but an opportunity to kind of look at what didn't work and what wasn't working at the time when I was 12 years old, and my mother was like, "Oh, you're acting. I'm sending you to therapy." And I had to get on a bus and go in the opposite direction after school. And everybody's like, "Well, where are you going? Because you don't live that way." And then you're like, you don't want to tell people. And it's like, it's for our children, for everybody, all the way from whatever age you have to start going to whenever you don't stop going. We should all just be able to say, yeah, I'm going to talk to my therapist. Just like you go see your doctor, you go see your GYN. Why should I not go see my therapist to make sure that my mental health is just as well as the rest of my body? And that is definitely something that we definitely have to do more of normalizing that. So you wear many hats. I know you're a mom, DJ, on-air personality, director, editor, journalist, author, and more. What does it look like to balance these roles? Like, what does it take for you to be healthy and to stay balanced mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all that good stuff?
God is above all with that balance, because sometimes when I don't even feel balance or feel an equilibrium of like, it's just I take those moments and I really just kind of chill. Like, okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling like, I'm pulled in a million different directions. But then that's when I also remind myself that this is everything you asked for. This is everything you're praying for. This is everything you want. So you have to figure out a way that is going to be the best for you, and where you can also be effective in these areas. Because my job first above everything is being a mom, and that never turns off. That doesn't turn off regardless of what's happening. And it's like a superhuman I don't know, a superhuman battery, if you may, that like, it's just I was sleeping last night. I fell asleep on the couch, doing some work. And at like 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm in a deep sleep. All I heard was mommy, like the smallest little mommy. And I just automatically, and I'm like, if somebody was calling my phone, I would have missed that call. If something was happening outside of, but it's the superhuman mom instincts that, you know, if you could do that, you could do anything, you know, and people always say, oh, if you're in New York, you can make it there, you can make it. No, if you can do that, you could do anything. So in those areas where I feel like, and I struggle with that sometimes because it's like, you know, I want to stretch myself. I have to practice DJing. I have to spend time, you know, learning the new music, and okay, that came out, now I gotta download this. Okay, now I have to set these crates out. It's so much that goes into each thing that I do with the book. Okay, now I absolutely have to practice and learn my own work. You know, I have to know how I want to present this. I have to know what am I gonna say to somebody else so that may help them. You know, it's just preparation, and what I'm learning is time management. And that's super hard. But I actually took my daughter's, like, her schedule. You know how in school they have like the lunch at this time, and I say, you know what? She's in big girl school now. Let me make this use for myself. So I give myself time blocks, and I give myself, okay, you're gonna spend an hour on this today. You're gonna spend an hour on this, you know, making sure you're following up with whatever emails you have to answer. And it's like, okay, I have to learn to open the door to accepting help as well. That's something that's going to absolutely help with balancing. I've always felt like, you know, I could do it. I could do it. No, I got it. I can do it all. And it's like, no, but you can't do it. And if you're building a company and you're building a brand, you want to build a solidified team in which you can give certain tasks to other people to be able to handle for you or handle for the company, and it works as well. So just understanding that, understanding yourself and knowing, you know, what works for you. If you're a night hawk, okay, cool. Let me, you know, design my night schedule to work and still get me to bed at a certain time that I can function. And just understanding that I need sleep. I'm starting to understand that more, and it's helping. I'm going to sleep a little bit earlier, you know, instead of 3-4 o'clock, maybe it's like 2:30. But the night hours has always been my thing. But it's like, okay, you got to understand, you got to be functional in the morning as well, because you got to wake up and get your daughter to school on time. So you can't drop the ball on that. So it's just management. But a lot of that goes with God help me. God help me.
I can definitely relate to that. I can definitely relate to the piece of the time management and the night owl, and understanding how important it is to regulate that. It actually goes into one of my responses for one of the questions is also how we're coping, being like a question at heart. It's like, and I heard a lot of how you're coping through your share, and it's through time management and looking at what really needs to be looked at. You have to fit in mommy time. You have to fit in time for the different businesses, and praying and believing and trusting and putting things in the Most High's hand, and allowing yourself to be guided and comforted and covered. And I know that's how I cope. But if there's any other things that you do to cope, go ahead and please share those. And then also share how someone would join the book club if they wanted to. Before we go any further, you have two different, Athenia and Pippi have responded to the idea of a book club and wanting to know how to join.
Absolutely. So my website, I had a prayinggrandmother.shop. I have a tab, a contact us tab there, in which I will be, as soon as, I didn't have the specific date, that's why I didn't share the website yet, but I'm looking at the third week in November for the book club to start. But if they go on the website, first of all, thank you all for joining, and thank you for your interest in the book club. I would love to have you all go on the website, or you can either go to our Instagram page at I Had a Praying Grandmother. Everything I Had a Praying Grandmother. and send me a direct message, and I will email you personally with the information, but it will also be on the website as well. So please check that out. And yeah, I'm excited about the book club for sure. That's one of my favorite things. And to answer your question about the coping, absolutely, I agree with everything you said. Just as I said a little bit earlier, prayer as the number one thing, but it's a sense of faith without even having direction. Sometimes, faith without direction is just trusting that God is going to handle things, you know, that you can't even begin to think of how to fix. And that's the hardest part sometimes, because if you don't got no money in your bank account, you like, I got a problem right now. I got something right now that need to be handled. I don't know if it's going to happen in the next 3 days or 2 days, but I need to, you feel like you have to have the solution to things at that specific moment. But if we was able to answer all our problems, I don't think that would really be like it would just create more problems with the ways that we think things should be handled and answered. So with that, I express it to somebody. It depends on what it may be, but certain things I'll go to my friends with. Like, listen, just talk me through this, or give me a little advice, or sometimes you just need to an ear. You don't even want a reception. You just need an ear of somebody.
And to kind of let it out. I was going to say, because that's what's coming up for me is and this speaks highly to just even the phase of life that I'm in for myself, especially being a person that shows up for others a lot, shows up for other people's dreams, other people's goals, but am not necessarily starting and firing up my own. So and I know that that's where that that thin line for my own transformation lies, is in not only just the prayer, but in the faith that comes after, and not allowing the mind to start to take over, because then that it's almost like, what do they say? You can't pray and it's an actually and worry at the same time. If you pray, don't worry, and if you're going to worry, don't pray. It kind of becomes the same thing, and letting it out definitely helps, because a lot of times when you share with your folks, they find a way to put you at ease, or they're given a message that is the exact message that the Most High wants you to receive in that moment. I definitely have testimony of that my own self. So that is just like definitely it resonates highly. And Rodri, hey Rodri, nice to see you here, brother. Rodri Woodson, he says he handles coping by constantly surrounding himself around like-minded positive people. Absolutely. Which gives nonstop positive influences, and also the conversations becomes attractive, which keeps the mind elevating, which instills faith and forms of determination and forms determination.
He had it right on that sharing common conversation and knowing who you can turn to in certain situations. As I said, it might be whoever that person is for you, or you might have different people for different situations, but surrounding yourself with good energy is extremely vital. Like I don't exalt my energy. Anything that I feel like I'm given to, like, what is it if I let this out, or if I let this get too much of me, now it's weighing me down. I can't exalt my energy with this. I have to, okay, cool. And I was just, I'm a huge fan of Sarah Jakes Roberts and her sermon that she did last week. Sometimes I don't even want to get even with certain people. I was like, oh my God, like that's so true, because it's like, why would I even exalt my energy to try to match yours? I don't even want to get even with you. We good. You know what I'm saying? We good. Let me just continue to be great and do what I do, because it's turn the other cheek, cool. Let me just do what I gotta do. So I absolutely agree with that for sure. And I know firsthand that it works. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. but it definitely puts you in a different caliber, and it works for sure.
I love that. I'm like, when you spoke of the sermon, I'm like, yeah, because when they go high, when they go low, I go high. I don't have time to match people's energy. Not to mention that you just what is the word that I'm looking for? You dirty yourself up. Like, you bring yourself down. You bringing yourself down to their level if you're taking the time to put energy in to get even with someone. Because if you're getting even with someone, that means that you feel offended, hurt, disappointed. There's some low vibrational energy in there, and to match that means you gotta go low too. So it's like, why would I waste time when I could release that person with love?
Absolutely.
Release them with love, send them on their way, remove them from the circle, remove them from the project, remove them from whatever situation it is, versus allowing it to take you to a place where now you got to do more work to elevate yourself and bring yourself back up.
Energy is transferable. Energy is transferable. And I like to confuse people with love. Like, so good, don't even worry about it, you know? And it's like, now you confused. You don't know what to do. But cool, take that love and you go with that.
So, as someone who has achieved so much success as a self-made entrepreneur, what advice would you give to others looking to pursue their own creative endeavors?
Start wherever you are. Start wherever you are. It's no right or wrong to life. It's no one of my quotes in my book from the poem Mistakes is, if everything in life is a lesson learned, what's the classification of a mistake? What is it? If everything in life is a lesson learned, what is the classification of a mistake? We're learning. It's all a process. We don't know what the next 10 seconds will bring. Just start. Like, don't give yourself a cap on how high things can go, or that's not possible. That's never been done. Cool. Maybe you're the person that's supposed to get it done. And when I share certain things with people, I've seen like how you gonna do that? Like, that you can't do that. That's basically you dreaming too high. That's not possible. And it's like, all right, cool. I fuel that as like, I have to do this. I'm going to do this. I know that this can be done because it's divine purpose. God gives us all separate missions. My mission is different from yours. My purpose is different from yours. We might align somewhere within, but what I'm supposed to do is meant for me. What you're supposed to do is meant for you. I don't take no for an answer from myself. Other people might give you no. They're gonna give you no. They might doubt you. But if you believe in yourself, I don't take no for an answer for myself. And that's how I've always been since a kid. Like, no, what I believe is what I believe. And it's like, oh, you so stubborn, or you think this, or nah, I really just believe in myself, and not in a cocky way, or not in any, just a confidence that I know what I'm supposed to do. I know what I feel. I know what's real to me. And I'm passionate about things that's real to me. I feel like, it's not even about anybody else. It's just about me fulfilling my dreams. And the expectation, I really try not to have an expectation. I just get it done. Like, I don't want it to be like, oh, if I didn't sell 1 million copies yet, this book is a flop. No, because I know literally every copy of this book I've sold, I personally handed it to somebody. I personally shared a conversation with someone. I personally, like, I'm just getting on big with, doing promotion and marketing and those things. People like, oh, you could take this. You should have been able to sell it. This book is amazing. This, you need 10,000 copies sold, right? But the 500 copies that I've sold out my trunk mean more to me than what New York Times could consider a bestseller, because this is personal to me. Everything I do is personal. I do it because I love it. Like, business is personal to me. My love is personal to me. Like, these are things that mean everything to me. And if you love something, put your all into it. Put your all into it. And, whatever you get out of it, as long as you put your all into it, that's a win right there. That's a win. It don't matter. Nobody else got to say that's a win. So that's what I would advise. Believing in yourself. Don't doubt. And not saying that you won't have fears and you won't doubt and you won't go through those things, but don't doubt that it's supposed to be you. Like, understand that this is meant for you. This is, do it. Like, just do it. Just do it. Just get it done.
I love that when you were speaking of the journey of your book, Tina Turner's song played it, like just popped in my head. The one where the beat starts out real slow, and then the next thing you know, it's like it's going, it's going. If I'm correct, I believe that's Proud Mary, and it just, to me, those are the type of, I mean, yeah, it's nice to come out overnight and be an overnight success, but when you're growing through generational love, when you're growing family legacy, when you're growing your baby, we don't want to have our babies and our babies are 10
No.
in 2 days.
Right.
So watching it grow, coming up with the different ideas that you have that are even just all stemmed from the seed of your
Yes.
grandma's love and your grandma's prayers, and
Yes.
watch how they're growing. It reminds me of a tree. It reminds me of things in nature. It reminds me of the nice, slow, steady journey that actually will end up being a legacy versus it being an overnight success. People know your name for 15 minutes and then they're on to the next thing. What you're doing is growing a long lasting project, a long lasting love. So, with that being said, growth through generational love, what exactly does that mean to you?
So growth through generational love. I know people talk about generational wealth a lot. They talk about, and all of that is great. But I know that in order to be in this world, you cannot function without love. Love runs everything. Love runs everything. Your love for people, your love for your passions, your love for whatever that is. It fuels us. Like that's the universal language. That's what everybody experiences. And growth through love is just like, okay, in earlier generations, maybe we weren't able to really um help and support in ways of like, okay, that's your dream, you can do it. It was more so like, okay, no, you got to go to school, you got to get this education, you got to get a good job. That was what what the stigma has been for forever, and it's continuing to be that. But now I'm seeing it grow in different directions. The support and the love of do whatever you feel is right for you. That love right there is going to change lives. It's going to change families. It has no dollar amount on that. That love and that support and that understanding and that like outpouring of just letting people grow into their being. Like I hate the fact that like we put an age cap on. Or you 21, you grown. Or you're 18, you got to get out the house. You got to do this. You're like, at 21, you don't know nothing. At 18, you don't know. I'm 32, going on 33. I'm learning every day. I still don't know a lot of things. It's people that's 70, 7, 8. You learn every day. Nobody has been here prior to them being here at the present moment. Like, so we have to eliminate that and love on each other in ways of allowing grace to lead us in certain places. Of you're supposed to be a grown woman, you're supposed to be a grown man, you gotta have this figured out. No, allow grace for that person to, extend the love and the help that they might need. Oh, you working on that? Or I seen you, you had this going on before. What's going on with that? Just words of encouragement is love that'll give somebody the fuel to restart something, and that is the growth that I'm talking about. Like we gotta figure that part out, because finances is, I feel like is killing people just as much as all these diseases and everything, because it's stress, it's this, it's that. But if we give some of that love out, it can help us blossom through the concrete, like the rose that needs to grow. And I'm just here for that. Like, you know, I feel like love is ownership. Like, when you love something, that gives you a different kind of, gives you a different stance with it. Like, now I love this. I'm gonna treat this with care. I love this. You're not just gonna throw something around that you love. No, and when you show love to people, you treat them differently. So I think that that's what we need growth in. And that'll bring everything else. It'll bring the finances. It'll bring, you know, it'll bring all of the glitz and glamour that we want. But without the foundation of love, none of this exists. None of this exists. You know?
I love that. I love that. One of the newer sayings came up in my head during your share, and I'm like, oh my God, I love it that I was today years old when I learned something.
Oh my God, yes,
that is one of my favorite things. Come out these last years.
Yes.
And every time I see it, I just love what it's referring to, because a lot of times, you know it alls and people that think that they're done at anything in life, it saddens me.
Mm-hmm.
It saddens me because there's so much that we don't know, don't know what we don't even know half the time.
Yes. Yes.
We don't know. And even when I heard that term some years ago when I took Landmark, I was just like, what? You don't know what you don't know. Wait, let me wrap my head around that. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
And now the things that I have discovered that I didn't know. It's just like, it wakes me every day that I wake up. It allows me to wake up no matter how I'm feeling, whether it's like you started at the top. We spoke earlier about how we're really feeling under the surface. You know, I thought about, even while you were sharing, about why we don't go that deep sometimes when people ask us how we are. Athenia kind of tapped onto it, is that sometimes people don't really want to know.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's that stops you from sharing. It stops me from sharing how I'm really feeling, is that the person doesn't really want to know. They're just doing that. Hey, how you doing? Number one, you don't want to be not wanting to be the complainer. There's so many low vibrational things that stops us from actually sharing where exactly we are in the moment. But it's so valuable to share exactly where we are in the moment, because number one, it allows you to free yourself from whatever self-judgment you're giving for how you're feeling right in that moment.
Boy, Jamie, you gotta talk.
Like, whatever you're feeling like, because we spend so much time in our heads beating ourselves up or shying and hiding from people for so many different reasons. We all have different reasons why we do those things, but it's just the natural human nature to hide and shut down when things don't feel good.
Yes.
So so much came up for me. I'm just like, yes. I always love talking with you. So absolutely. I know your mission is to create work that lasts forever and that leaves a lasting legacy. And what's baby girl's name?
Kiara.
Yes. I know you want to leave a lasting legacy for Kiara and any other babies that may come after her. Can you tell us more about your vision and how you plan to achieve that?
So my vision is to, how can I say this? It's so much bigger than me. Like, it's always been big, but I think having a daughter, it just, like, just seeing her at 3 years old and just watching her grow every day, and I'm seeing me in her, and I'm like, oh my God. First of all, I feel like she's so much smarter than me at this age. It's just like, okay, I could take the hat off and throw it up. Like, this is just so much. So the creative process along the way, I know it's just going to continue to grow. And I didn't even mention this earlier, but with things and longevity and lasting long, my book actually includes some of my grandmother's journal entries as well. And which I never knew she had, which I never knew she was journaling, which I never knew that she had. So small things like that is divine purpose and things that will be able to repurpose in the future, you know? And it's almost as if book, we're having a conversation, because me just going through her work and her pages, I'm like, this scripture right here and what she said right here, oh, that fits perfectly. It's literally, so I want to create something that, will purpose far beyond, just moments, and just live forever. Like I look at Maya Angelou work all the time, and I'm just so inspired, and I'm like, yeah, this was divinely made to last forever. Like, books last forever. You know, my voice will last forever. I'll always be here, even when I'm not here. These messages will last, and that means so much to me, because just like I said, it's so much bigger than me, and I understand that. I'm just a vessel that's being used to get this out. But if I can do something within my purpose, within my company, within my creativity, to bring something else into the world of value, that's what this is about. Giving other people the opportunity to share and bring value as well. That's what this is all about. And I'm excited to continue to grow. I'm excited to continue to build. I'm excited to bring, I really have my daughter as one of the owners. I'm excited for her to really say, you know what, mommy, I really do want to be a part of this company, or I really do, or I want to start this, or I want to do that, because I'm behind that 1,000,000%. Whatever you want to, what you want to do, what do you love, what do you feel, and just giving that encouragement. I'm excited for it. So that's what longevity means to me. That's what forever means to me. That's why I chose Forever NBC Entertainment. It includes my name, but the forever part, and it means, I really mean forever. Like I want that to last always. So that's what it is. That's what it is, for real.
I love that. That actually, like, I'm like, because I'm looking at the time, I'm like, shucks, this time went by really fast. It's already 12:48. We're winding down. We got to start winding down our conversation so we can release people to go back to their work days. But I just love the way that capped off. So my next question is, what do you want the community to take away from today's session?
Oh my God, that we need each other. As community, we need each other. I feel like in the 90s, we, like, the community was real community. Your neighbors was, they wasn't just your neighbors, or that was auntie this or uncle this, or it was real community, as far as, like, looking after each other, and just lending a hand. Okay, I see you got that event going on, let me share it, let's come out, let's support, community is support, community is love again. As I mentioned earlier, I have the Breast Cancer Awareness Walk this weekend, Fituation, one of my organizations, alongside my partner D. We this is our 5th year. We started this walk 5 years ago. In 19 days, we came up with the concept, sitting in a park, and we was like, yo, you know what? It's October. On October 1st, because we do a fitness class and things like that. And we were sitting there waiting for the class to start. And I'm like, yo, we got to do something for breast cancer. And we just started to brainstorm. We put together our first event in 19 days, out of the coins in our pockets, and we're still, 5 years later, we're still doing it, and it's getting bigger. And it's just like, oh my God, just how we said, you birth these babies and you watch them grow. This year is our first year of having people come on as collaborators and partner with us. We have Patrol Borough Brooklyn North coming on, so the NYPD will be helping out. We have, different sponsorships from community, local community restaurants and things like that. It's like, yo, without speaking and going around and being a staple in the community and showing up and showing face and actually doing things, people won't know. So when you really out there and you putting a face to the name and you actually showing them, inviting them to come, it creates a bigger platform, and I'm just super excited about that. So as far as community goes, it's just really spread love. And that's what we're going to continue to do. And if you in New York, if you in Brooklyn, if you anywhere in the tri-state, if you're not and you feel like coming to the tri-state, this weekend is going down. All the information is on my pages as well, but it will be at Heartwarming King Park. And that's 670 Lafayette Avenue. We there from 10 to 3 on Saturday, rain or shine. It's going down. I promise you, it is going to be a enormous, amazing event. And just we just bringing awareness. Awareness. Community is awareness as well. So we just doing our job.
I love that. Rodri said, putting the neighbor back in the hood. I love
that.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I agree.
So
sure.
No, we are in the 50th year of hip hop. And I would love to know, who is your favorite hip hop artist and why?
Oh my God.
And also, what does hip hop mean to you?
Oh my God. Hip hop is reason. Hip hop is reason to me. Hip hop is culture. Hip hop is it's messages. To answer the question about who's my favorite artist, Jay-Z is my favorite artist, my favorite lyricist. And it's so funny because along again, and I'll share this very quickly, divinely, divine purpose, it just adds up so crazy. I was working for Hot 97 a few years ago. I did a sprint event. I was DJing downtown Brooklyn, had the crowd, had the people, had everybody enjoying themselves, had a great time. Years later, maybe 2 years later, on Twitter, I get a message. Now, I'm not active on Twitter, but something, I don't know, God, for that reason, that day said, go check your Twitter. I check my Twitter, I get a message from Tidal with that. This was when Jay-Z was dropping the 444, his album. They wanted me to come and do a release tour, go around to all the Sprint stores in the New York City area, XYZ. Did that. That money that I made from doing the 444 tour was the money that I used to found and start my company. So I always say, whenever I meet Jay, we're gonna have to have a conversation, because literally your album, working for Tidal and working with that album and the release of that album, you gave me the money to start my company, like the money that I made. So it's a full circle moment that I can't wait to share. But
it's coming.
It's right, and he's been my favorite far beyond that, but that just ties it to so much. But I feel like Jay has opened the doors for hip hop in ways that we couldn't even imagine. 50 years ago, we didn't, think about billionaire status and owning companies and shares and stocks. It's so, it's so high now. And I love to hear him talk. I love to just watch his movement and decision based. And as far as a lyricist, come on, Jay is definitely in top 5 of all time. But it's just, I love hip hop. Without hip hop, I feel like, the world is a totally different place. So
right.
We base it. Hip hop is the base, okay? Hip hop is the base. We do everything around it. So it's definitely vital and important to our community. How we dress, how we talk, how we walk, how we it's all around this music, and the creativity, and it starts with the creators. So just being a creator, poetry. That's hip hop. That's it is so much more to it. But yes, I'm a hip hop baby forever. Regardless, I understand now, like when they like, oh, this music is different now. It ain't how it used to be, and I can understand that. And I'm like, but we have to leave that leverage for creativity and for the next generation to experience it. They will, because my generation is my generation. Yeah, like everybody has their own, but we have to allow that creativity to continue to grow. So I'm here for it.
I love that. All right, so I have 2 final questions for you today. And the first one is, what is Kwanzaa for you?
Oh, Kwanzaa is heritage. when you think about African American culture or, you know, Black culture and things of that nature, it's just, you know, not to get too deep into the, you know, the holidays and how we share them and what we celebrate and what is really the significance of this day and that day. But Kwanzaa to me is just, you know, Black heritage, culture, again, really just keeping the culture alive, keeping our heritage alive, you know, paying homage to those that came before us in a way of, okay, they created this because of, you know, this was, you know, today is this day because of, it's a message, you know, and it's meaningful. So that's what I'll say. I'll say it's definitely meaningful, and it's something that us in the African American culture embrace, of course, because it's to embrace us. It's for us, you know, for us, by us, you know.
All right. And what does Juneteenth mean to you?
Oh, come on now. Come on. Juneteenth power. That's power. Let's just keep it one word based. That's power. That's, you know, enlightenment of our power. I'll say that it's the enlightenment of our power for us to continue to have control over that, control over ourselves, control over, you know, our heritage, control over what we, you know, continue to carry on. Is the power that we hold.
Ashe.
Sure.
Ashe. Thank you, Kiara. This is, again, always divine, always right on time. Please, please, please share with the community any last words that you'd like to say, your contact info, which is scrolling at the bottom of the screen, but I definitely want you to read it out if you'd like, and just bid farewell to the community till the next time.
Oh my God. Well, Jamie, as always, it's always a pleasure talking to you. It's always a pleasure with this platform, which I do is beyond needed, you know, and I appreciate any time and every time y'all call, I will be here because it's an honor for me. Everybody that's on this call that will watch this, I thank you for your time. I thank you for, you know, just allowing me into your space and this conversation into your space. You could follow me at Forever MBG. Follow I Had a Praying Grandmother at I Had a Praying Grandmother on Instagram, Facebook, all of those things. My website is forevermbg.com, and I Had a Praying Grandmother is that website is I Had a Praying Grandmother.shop. Okay, so the book club information will be up there. I'll try to get that up there as soon as next week. But again, like I said, if you want me to direct message you, please shoot me a DM, shoot me an email. My email is fabmbg@gmail.com. I will be sure to get back to you. I am excited about everything that is to come. And you know, Juneteenth, y'all gonna get the exclusive any and every time. So you know, it's up from here. It's always up.
Love it. Thanks, MBG. I will see you behind the scenes, and thanks again.
Thank y'all. Till next time.
All right, community. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. I could talk to Kiara all day long, and we could have kept this conversation going all day long. But thank you for giving us your hour today. Thank you for being here with us. Please like, subscribe, and follow. And next week, and share. Don't forget to share. Next week, we will have Janaisha Bradford, and she'll be here talking about her organization, Mahogany and Friends. Looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Till then, have a great one.
Greetings, and good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome to another weekly edition of our Lunch and Learn.
E is exhaling, having an opportunity to breathe, to rest, to refill yourself and rejuvenate yourself, because no one can pour from an empty cup. As you evolve and become more of yourself, you begin to attract the people that are there for you.
Amen.
So everything you need is in this space.
You have to learn from your mistakes. Once you make a mistake, sit down, recoup, and then start over. And once you do that, you say, I got that.
See, Juneteenth means to me, I would definitely say empowerment and education.
When I experienced it, it's like just coming together and, you know, being a part of something bigger than myself, you know. And
A new start, starting a new chapter, opportunity, new beginnings, all of that.